ויהי כשמוע כל המלוכים אשר בעבר הירדן, בהור ובשפלה ובכל חוף היום הגדול אל מול הלבנון, החיתי והאמורי, הכנעני, הפריזי והחיבי והיבוסי. When the Klal Yisrael coming from, as we said, Kishmoya, what means Kishmoya? So, as we said, the Metzudah says, the Metzudah David, Asher Kovshu Sa'ai Beroiv Amu Bedachbula. So, why about Yericho? They didn't hear what happened now suddenly. By Kishmoya, I mean, what they heard. What the Givoinim, now the Maisa, what we see over here, we can see about the Maisa is the Givoinim. They get dressed up and they do a certain arome. Vaikishmoya Pashtas is Aikishmoya. It's like when we start the Sefer, right? It's a story that happens, a story of a war. Vaikishmoya. What they heard? So they heard in Pasuk Gimel, we can see, they heard the Yehoshua given Shomu, we can see that they heard Yehoshua given is Asher also Yehoshua, Le'yerichai Ule'ai. And that's the Pshat, right? Sometimes the Psukim are explained more in one Pasuk, and the other Psukim. It's nicht kan stira. Be'evar Yarden, what we talk about Evar Yarden and the west of the Evar Yarden, right? Because they are now Darva. Bahor is the mountains in Eretz Yisrael. Ubashvela is the, right? The Shvela is the lower, the Gvo is the lower, right? As we find at the Psukim, we call it the thing. Ubechol Choif Hayom, what Chol Choif Hayom Agadol? That is the next to the Yam Agadol. That is called the Choif Hayam. What's called the Mediterranean, and as we can see, later on, what they done over there, and that's El Mul HaLevonon. Mul HaLevonon is, as we say, right? El Mul Penei HaMenorah. That's a lashon Mul. Mul means the derech klal, a sign against something else. So we say El Mul HaLevonon, the mountain of Levonon, that is Tzoir and Sidon, and going up north. The Chiti we spoke about in Kapitel Gimel. Who is the Chiti? Part of the Shiva Amomin, as we find the Chiti, Amori, Knani, Prisi, Chivi, and Yevusi. Now we have the Mesoiras, what Yerushalmi places brings it down, but the Yerushalmi in Shvi's Perek Zayin Haloche Aleph, what the Yerushalmi says that the Girgoshi Pono ve'olach loi le'Afriki, right? And they went to Africa. That's the Yerushalmi, what brings down, Toises, brings down the Yerushalmi. Okay. ויסקבצו יחדוב פסוק בייס. ויסקבצו יחדוב להילוך עם יהושע ועם ישראל פה אחד. That means they come, ויסקבצו יחדוב, that means all the Malchei Amomim, the Shiva Amomim, that we said in the previous pasuk of Chiti, Amori, Knani, Prizi, Chivi, and Yevusi, they all get together, that each one of them should support each other. And who was Miskabetz over here? So we can see well that they heard the power of Klal Yisrael. So Pe'echod means behaskome achas, right? Pe'echod is the Radak says, Vaiskabtzu yachad Pe'echod leilochem Yehoshua v'Yisrael. That's Pe'echod. That's Pashtas, what we say over here, the Metzudas, as we say, what means Pe'echod. Pe'echod means behaskome achas. It says, okay, there's a medrash. So let's start with the medrash. What we find the Yalkut Shimoni, and Yalkut Shimoni is over here in Yehoshua Perektes and Remez Yutes, and the Maharal Parichus brings it down. The Yalkut Shimoni is Oktazoi. So Tanchume. Tidazoi. Omar Rav Eivu. B'Shem Rab Lozer ben Noi Rabbi Yossi Aglili. B'Shloisho Mekoimois, Cholku Boe Oilom Al HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Echod B'Doy HaPaloge, Vayikol Ored Sofo Achas, they all get together, Sofo Achas, against the Boishlam. Umau Dvorim Achodim, what is the Dvorim Achodim, what do you find in Doy HaPaloge? These are Dvorim Shel Cheirufin. Dvorim Shel Cheirufin, Hoyu Mesichin Achar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Again, this is Kfira against the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's one. The second time what we find that the whole world gets against the Rebbeinu Shalom is Goig Umogoig. It says the Medrash ve'echod b'yemei Goig Umogoig. Isyatzu, and he brings the pasuk in Tehillim, Isyatzu malchei eretz ve'roiznim noizdu yachad al Hashem ve'al Meshichoi. And that's the pasuk in Tehillim. What we say in Lechem is Goig Umogoig. All together, sof achas pe'echod. Yes. Ve'echad, and the third time is B'imei Yehoshua bin Nun. Shene'emar, and the Tanchuma brings the pasuk over here, what says, "Iskaptu yachdov leilochem im Yehoshua ve'im Yisrael pe'echad." Says the Medrash, "Ma'u pe'echad." What's the pshat over there? Pe'echad. Shecholku al Hakadosh Baruch Hu, shene'emar boy, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. That means you can't. Well, what's the pshat of it? This Medrash. It's a Yalkut Shimoini, and it's a Medrash Tanchume. What's the pshat? We can't explain that Pe'echod. What means Pe'echod? Pe'echod. So as we saw Pashtas Pe'echod, we saw the Metzilah. What means Pe'echod? Be'itzo Achas. But the Shverkeit with this to explain that Pe'echod means Be'itzo Achas is because it says already before in Yachdov. And if you look at the pasuk says that it's Kaptzu Yachdov Leilochem Yehoshua Yisrael Pe'echod. So it's Yachdov. Already means Be'itzo Achas. Why you have to double again? Yachdov. And that's why we darshan Pe'echod means against the Rebbeinu Shloilo. And the Pchol Shoyl in Parshat B'Shalach explained that that's the pshat over there in the pasuk, right? We Parshat Zocher in 2 weeks, Chodesh Adar, Mechias Amalek. It says in the pasuk, Ki yod al keisko milchomo ba'amalek midoyotoy. He says, lefi what Tosha says, right? That if, as we saw in Yerushalmi, Tosha says that if the Canaanim would be mekabel on themselves oil malchus shamayim, so they would mekabel them. They gave them an option. You mekabel oil malchus shamayim, or you're not mekabel oil malchus shamayim. If they would agree to be mekabel oil malchus shamayim, they would accept them. So he says they would never have to do a milchama with them against the Canaanim. Kumtois, that's what the Canaanim are going out to war against Klal Yisrael. Is why is that? Because they did not want to be mekabel on themselves or malchus shamayim. So what they said over here, right? That cholku al Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the cholku al Hakadosh Baruch Hu, because it says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and that's why they got punished. What they got punished? And Hakadosh Baruch Hu, what he does to them is we're going to see weiter that Kishlich Aleim Avonim Gedoylos. We're going to see the Avnei El Govish. We're going to see later on that this is left from the Borod. Right? The Gemara in Brachas, we can see what's Hashem, the Gemara about the end of Brachas, the last parak in Brachas, the Gemara tells us that this is Al Yad Ish. It stopped Al Yad Moshe Rabbeinu, that it continued Al Yad Yehoshua bin Nun. These are the big mighty stones. What we're going to see about Hakadosh Baruch Hu when Hakadosh Baruch Hu helps them in the war. And why? Because Dafke Makas Borod Zok the Pchol Shoyl. Over there we find Ein Komoini, the Mailov Ein Komoini B'chol Haaretz is Dafke over there, and that's the Mido Keneged Mido. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Ein Komoini B'chol Haaretz, and it says the Pchol Shoyl. That's the reason that they went against the Rebbeinu Shalom, because the Toisa says that they gave them the option to be Mekabel Oil Malchus Shamayim and not to go to war. But they didn't want to be Mekabel Oil Malchus Shamayim. Because when they go out to war, it's a war against Malchus Shamayim. There's a big Maharal also. The Maharal says that in Netzach Yisrael, he says, what's the pshat? What the Melech ain't be'arbe, he says the Pasuk in Mishlei. Why? Because the Melech is me'ached the Klal, he says. A Melech is the thing, till they are one. Arbe, why it's called Arbe? Also Makas Arbe. Arbe is Meloshon the Ribui. They come always everywhere else, right? Arbe. It's a chiluk, it's a preda, it's a pirud. And something that's me'ached, fakert, is a melech, right? And that's why something else, Yehoshua bin Nun had a deed of a melech, because he was me'ached Klal Yisrael. Now the day that you bring together Klal Yisrael, there is a Ashrat HaShechina. When there's a Ashrat HaShechina, right, it brings the psukim before, and what we learned in the Kapitel Gimel, what Yehoshua bin Nun tells Klal Yisrael, Goyishu Heino, get together. And that is the koyach of Klal Yisrael, is when they, right, ki keil chai bekir bechem. That is the keil chai bekir bechem. How are they going to know it? Right, as we mentioned then, when we spoke a Kapitel Gimel, the Medrash, Bereshis Rabbah says, Tzimtzemon bein shnei badei oroin, the whole of Klal Yisrael, and he gave them the blessing because that is the koyach of Klal Yisrael only when they are be'achdas. Pasuk Gimel. Ve'yoishvei givoin. Shomu is asher also. Now we're talking about what they heard, right? We said, Vayiki shmoya kol hamelochim. What's the shmoya? Ve'yoishvei givoin. Shomu is asher also. Yehoshua li'erichoi v'le'ai. Yehoshvei givoin. Givoin was, this is maybe the Vov of the Ve'yoishvei, no? The Vov, Vavachibur. Yeah. Could be that that's the Vavachibur over here. Veyoishvi. It's a Vavachibur, it's not Vavachibur. It's a Vavanigud. Not Dafki of Veyoishvi, you know. Okay. Givon was a big city, and one of the cities of the Mamlachas we can see later on in Kapitel Yud over there when we speak about all of the Lamed Aleph Malachim. In the Chivi, yes, we can see it. And this was in the covenant where they had the Bris Orim. They had a covenant between them. They are one of them. And this was next to the main road that comes down from the mountains. It came down from the mountains through Ma'ale Beis Choyron to Emek Hayoloim. Right? And the Mount Hashem, when we look at the map, when we're going to bring the map in Mount Hashem in a week or 2 weeks, you can see that this is next to Arab village, what's called today El Jib. El Jib, 10 kilometers north west from Yerushalayim, not so far. And they are also called from Malchei Knan, that they heard about the victory of Yehoshua ben Nun in Yericho in Ai, but they decided we're not going to fight. We want to be mashlim with Yehoshua ben Nun. Aber, they done it b'derech orma. They done it b'derech orma. And this was a tiny why they do it b'derech orma, we can see. But even though they done it b'derech orma, we still will mekabel them. Let's see. Vayasu gam heimo be'orma. They done it be'orma. The same like Malchei Knan, that they decided to fight Klal Yisrael. They decided Yehoshua Givon to do also a Maisa, but the Maisa they decided to do as a Maisa Orma, right? And also Gam Hema. What's a Gam Hema? Smasha Gam Hema. What's Gam Hema? Gam Hema. They also decided the same like Malchei Knan. They also decided to do something, but the Choyah didn't say huh? So the Gam Hema be'Orma lefi Rashi is very poshut. Because if you look at Rashi, what Rashi says. Also, Bnei Yaakov be'Orma, Chamoy Rav Yishchem, Shoyo Chivi, Yehoshua Givon min Achivi Ayu, Moshe Ormu be'Inyan. So Gam Hey doesn't go on Malchei Knan. It goes exactly back. And Parshas Vayishlach, it goes back to Bechachmanu. So that. What Rashi says of it, that's I think Rashi's medagde, because when we look at let's start with the Shaila. The Shaila is what means Yehoshua Givon Shamu is Hashem also Yehoshua LeYehoshua Yasu Gam Heimo be'Orma. What it means also they done it. What means also they? What's the Gam? Lechoira the same like Malchei Knan. They are fighting, so they also done something as a fight. It is not exactly the same thing. So Rashi says K'mo also Bnei Yaakov be'Orma. ובחמור רבי ישכם שיוכיבי ויושבי גיבוין, מנחים יקרה שם בעניין. Yeah? Huh? So the Moshe first a good Shaila. The Shaila is how are you coming and saying the equivalent of the Maisim of these swindlers, let's call them, yeah? To what? To the Maisa of Shiftei Ko. Shiftei Ko we're talking about, right? There was Bechachmo. How can we say about the Givoyin and Gam Heva Bechachmo? So there is some Mefoshim, so that they say that this is Fakert. Over here we see Nistorim Darke Hashem, right? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Medagdekim Atzadikim, as the Gemara says in Yevomes, and Daf Kuf Top Aleph, Medagdekim Atzadikim Kechut Asar. And because there was over there a certain chet in the Shvatim that came from Shimon and Levi, and it came from Shimon and Levi, but the Atzat Shimon and Levi, the Shlichus of Shimon and Levi, on the Eir Shechem, it was be'Orma, because Shechem and the city of Shechem, yeah, they wanted to actually do a bris, yes, behave with Klal Yisrael, right? And they done a bris milah, and they were mekabel themselves, and they came by Mirma, because Baruch Hu paid them back after many doires, and Midah and they get Midah, and the Givonim came, and they were from the Chivi, any class of them, and they do a mirva to do a bris with Klal Yisrael. Well, they didn't want to be mekabel them and be Yehoshua. Now they mekabel them Baal Kochom, and that was the hashgacha of Tashlum Midah Keneged Midah, and that is the remez. What say today? Gam Heimo. What's Gam Heimo be'Orma? They say like Bnei Yaakov don't be mirma Midah. Say Mother Duloi, hey Mother Duloi. Yeah, you remember this? What the Ramosha wanted to say. So I saw this in the Sefer. What the Ramosha recognize the Sefer, and you got me the Sefer, and Niflois Mitoras Hashem, in Perek Pei. That's what he says. So I thought that's what you meant. There, yeah? He saw that Sefer, yeah? Beautiful Sefer. Niflois Mitoras Hashem. Moshe, why Moshe? Well, the Chivi and Mei Moshe. But no, Rashi doesn't say it. Rashi says of Gam Hema with the same way that Bnei Yak Moshe should also Bnei Yaakov Be'ormo, B'chamoy Ravi Shchem. I don't think it's an Ormo, yeah. I would say that is a tactic. That's a tactic of a Milchama. I don't think it's like the Ormo is a sheker. It's a bit of a chisoron, as we said. Of course. No, because that's a tactic of a milchama. Mishas milchama, you do all kinds of it's an ambush, a lot of sheker. Where do we find it in? Yeah, no, we're gonna see this belt. Yeah. So this is. Did we find over there that this was the Dinan Be'alma? So over there they were no matzliach. Yeah, over there they were no matzliach. Over here, lechora they were matzliach, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the medrash tanchum. Mechoyte veitzecha, medrash tanchum. The last of the medrash tanchum is azoi. And it's of him perek beis doctor azoi. Mechoyte veitzecha, Omar Rab Yitzchok ben Tavli, מלמד שבו הגיבויים אצל ישוע בן נון וקיבלון, שנאמר ויעשו גם הימו באורמו, עוד מוישה רבינו לא מקבל להם. מהו גם הימו ללמדך שבו אצל מוישה ולא קיבלון. That's the difference. Yeah. Shaila is what Toises, the Toisarosh, they all ask the Shaila. The Medrash says, Sholach Yehoshua oroitze lehashlim yashlim. Before we go out to war, anyone who wants to do peace, could make peace. Don't go straight away to fight. Why the Givoinim has to do a Ormo? They have to come with a ganze Arome to say, Meretz Lechoiko bonus, we can see Val, they do a whole Arome. They should be mashlim, and that's it. They're going to be Mekabel them also, right? Oh, so we can see Val. Sasa ich frage, Toisves, der Toisarosh, many Rishonim fragen the Shaila. Yeah, Toisves, Toisarosh. It's fragen the Shaila. Mechoire, huh? Toisarosh, yeah, Toisarosh, yeah. And noch a Shaila, all the Shiva Amin will come to be mashlim. So what's the pshat in the pasuk? We say, Toisves, lo yoshuvu be'artzecho, pen yachatiyu oischo, right? Pen yachatiyu oischo. Says Toisves, what's that for Toisves? Venire lefares, and Toisves, what the pshat le'ashlim means to mekabel on themselves to be a ger toishov, and the givoinim they didn't want to be misgayer. Basically, as Moshe said, they didn't want to be mekabel on malchus shamayim. Rashi al Torah is also Rashi in Sai in Soitel Lamedhei. Says Rashi that in Shiva Amomin ain't koyri loim lesholem. Rashi, we don't ask them to do peace. Why? Because Milchemes Mitzvah, we didn't say the din of Sheila Sholem. The din of Sheila Sholem, and you offer them peace before they go out to war. This is Davke in Milchemes Oroshus. When the din of Sheila Sholem is not Milchemes Mitzvah. And as I al the Sifri, and Milchemes Oroshus Akosim Medaber. And as I al the Ravid, and in the Rambam and Melochim and Perek Vov Aloche Hey, as I al the Ravid, that it's only a Milchemes Oroshus and not a Milchemes Mitzvah. The Ramban al Torah. And the Ramban also in Yehomes disagrees, and he proves it from Moshe and from Yehoshua. And as they all take the Rambam and Perek Vov over there in Aloche Aleph and Ilchush Melochim, al the Rambam that are filu in Milchemes Mitzvah. Kumtois, yeah, if what we have a Machloikes Rishonim, and if the Toisves, the Toisarosh we just mentioned, and what the Givonim had to do the Aromes because why? Because they didn't want to be Mizgaya by Yishoshua, as Rashi says. His Toisves answers. They didn't want to be Mizgaya. And then from Rashi in Soite Kumtois, that it wouldn't help them to Ashlome. And even the Geirus wouldn't help if they are from the Shiva Umois and Eretz Yisrael. It wouldn't help them. Also, if they want. The Vito says it would help, because they didn't want to do a Kabbalah of proper oil Malchus Shamayim. The Rashi Pashat wouldn't help them. The Marshal says over there that because they didn't want to, in the beginning, to be Mashlim, they didn't want to do peace in the beginning. And now, that means in the beginning, when they came into Eretz Yisrael, they gave everyone a choice. If you want to do peace, Yes, not the Girgoshi ran down to Africa. They gave everyone a choice. But that's talking about what after they came into Israel. It's talking about after they gave them the option already. It's talking about they already went to Milchome. Aye, Yerichoi. Aye. Now now suddenly they're scared. Now it's too late. Now it's too late to give them the opportunity to do peace, as I said the Marshal. So the Marshal says that because in the beginning they didn't do Ashlome, so now the Reshus Beyad Yisrael to Lehorgom to Mekayim the Pasuk. Now, as I strive the Ramban in Gittin. So because they didn't want in the beginning, to do they didn't want in the beginning to do the Hashlome, so they can't be Mekayim it now. It's too late. And they thought that they could do it, right? And that's why they had to do the Arome. Now, at the beginning, when Kaisel, before Yerichoi. So what we learned to end up in the Nitzovim, right? In the Rashi beginning Nitzovim, so we said Moshe Yehoshua Kiblon, or Moshe Loi Kiblon. Moshe was not Mekabel them. What means that he's not Mekabel them Bechlal? You can't say he was not Mekabel them Bechlal. He was Mekabel them, because also by Moshe state over there that Mechoyte Veitzecho Atzoyev Meimecho. So you see in Chazal that word, Rashi brings it down, Melamed Subo Knanim, as he said, right? He's Gayer, and Moshe Rabbeinu put them as a Elamai. He didn't do them a bris. He didn't do a covenant with them. That means that's Loi Kiblon. Right? Just what? He done them straight away when they came. He said, okay, you be Choyt V'Eitim and Shoyav V'Mayim. And that's the pshat that he was not Mekabel them. Again, he still was Mekabel them a little bit. It's not Mamish, he was not Mekabel them Nechlal. But you see that they were Mekabel them. Okay. They're going to disagree in the Yerushalmi there, please. No, so Rashi is going to tell you very important. Rashi, as we're going to say the whole time, Rashi says, "Ein koirin sholem leshiva amomin, only koirin shenichlesu la'aretz." That's shit of Rashi. Before they came into Eretz Yisrael, only then they offered them the peace. But once they came into Eretz Yisrael, that's it. We covered them, even though they don't tshuva. So very good. Why they have to do it be'omer, right? Very good. Why they have to do it be'omer? Lefi the rest of the Rishonim, but also afilu achar shenichlesu la'aretz, you still mekabel them. So why they have to do the thing, right? We mentioned the Rambam in Perek Vov Hilchos Melochim, and the Ramban, right? The Pasha Shoiftim ala Torah, the Givonim, the Gnata said that the Givonim didn't know Mishpat Yisrael, and they thought that they're not going to be mekabel them. They didn't know. They had the mistake. Be'emes mekabel them. If they want to do peace, they say that. The Ramban says ala Torah and Pasha Shoiftim dimu. The Givonim, they lived in, they didn't know Mishpat Yisrael. They had them another thing. Yeah. There's another very interesting Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi says in the Sefer Be'er Moshe, he brings over here, what's Vayasu Gam Heimo Be'oma? What's Gam Heimo Be'oma? So we said one pshat is we said Gam Heimo is Rashi says over here, Gam Heimo is a tikkun, as we said, from the Niflos B'Toras Hashem, and he said it's a tikkun for Midah Keneged Midah, for Bnei Yaakov. Or we said Toys of Moshe, he said, and there's another pshat where Moshe Zoktazoi. לפי the Yerushalmi in Kiddushin, פרק ד' הלוך העל, זוג ירושלמי הזה. ויאמר איש ישראל אל החיבי. וכי חיבי היו? אלא what they? שאוסו מייסה חיבי. Chivi is a snake, right? Maisa Nochosh, right? Now, what's the Targum of Nochosh? Chavye, right? Chivi Maisa Nochosh. What's the pshat? They said as I know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu stayed beyoim ochlecho the Nochosh. What he said? Beyoim ochlecho mimenu mois Thomas. That's what he says. Elo, he said the Nochosh. Hareini hoilechu merame. I'm gonna change a little bit the words, right? And they will get punished, right? The Nachash wanted to get the land. So he says, I'm going to make sure that they get punished. They eat from the Eitz Hadas, and now we're going to do it. The same thing they did the Aroma. The Nachash did the Aroma. The same thing they done Maise Chivi. What's the Maise Chivi? The Maise Nachash. They said, the same thing they say, it says in Yerushalmi, we're gonna change the words, we're gonna lie, and they will get punished, Yoshi in the I say it steht in Yerushalmi. Says the Moshe לפי them, was steht ויעשו גם הימו בהומו, is גם הימו הזה wie the Nachash. והנחש or your Ohum. Say before by the Nachash that he was Ohum, right? And that's why they got the oinish of the Nachash, like it says in Yerushalmi, Omar Ablazar. What Omar Ablazar about this? Oron kenochosh shenemar ve'atem aruhim atem. As you can see about in the Psukim, says the Moshe, it's very meduyek. They also got the punishment as the Nachash. The Nachash gets the punishment Orurato, they get the punishment. So Gam Hema could be another pshat of the Nachash, as the Nachash, Gam Hema. Yeah. There's, and I said the Hina Chitzchok, he adds to it, he says as well. There's a Medrash Rabbe. Medrash Rabbe in Bereshis Rabbe, it says the Bereshis Rabbe over there, Omar Rab Levi, Le'osid Loroi Hakol Misrapin. Everyone's going to be Chutz Mi, Nochosh, Give Oini. That steht in Medrash Rabbe. You remember that Medrash Rabbe? Piskechov. Why? He brings up there a pasuk in Yeshaya. Pasuk in Yeshaya says, Yeshaya kapitel Samachay, V'Nochosh afar lachmoi, lo yiru v'lo yashchisu. Right? And in the Givoinim, it's a pasuk in Yecheskel and kapitel Memches, steht by the Givoinim, V'oive the iri avdu mikol shivtei Yisrael. And he says, the this Be'er Moshe is very gishmak, because the Givoinim don't have a refuah because they done the Maisa Nachosh. And that's why they don't have a refuah, they don't have tkuma, they don't have a... Because their shoyresh is the shoyresh Achivi, and the shoyresh Hanochos, the shoyresh of Chavye, and that's why they done, because they done by the Nachosh. So that's another pshat, Vayasu Gam Hema. It could be Pashat pshat, the Gam Hema. What means the Gam Hema? The same like Malchei Canaan, right? As we learned. Malchei Canaan decided to fight Klal Yisrael, right? They also decided to fight Klal Yisrael. How to fight Klal Yisrael? This is what Michael said before. It's a fight with their Homo. Also, Gam Hema, right? Gam, and the Maisa Mirmo, also what we said over here, Legabe Milchemes Ai. Yeah, Milchemes Ai. Okay. Says the post. Vayasu Kamemo Bomo, Vayelchu, Vaytztayu, Vaikhu, Vaytztayu, that means they done themselves Keilu. They color themselves in a different picture. They Keilu, they're doing a shlichus, as Rafi says. Right? Someone is Amodas he's doing Keilu something else, right? He's doing Keilu something else. Vaytztaidu. Some say the Vaytztaidu. What is the Targum Yonasis? What is Vaytztaidu? They schlep a lot of peklach. They're coming with someone who comes from somewhere far, they're schlepping a lot of peklach. That means Vaytztaidu. Tzei de la derech, yeah. Vaikhu sakim bolim, that means lachamireim. Yes, no, I'm saying. Vaytztairu, yeah, sometimes swap it, yeah. Sometimes swap it. It's the Vaytztairu. The saying from Rashi, yeah. Vayelchu Vaytztairu Vaikhu sakim bolim, lachamireim, v'noides yaim bolim. Bolim means worn out already, yeah. Shchukim, because it's something that you use a lot. It looks like they're coming from Eretz Choiko, Lachamoireim, also to come and put on the thing. Noidois, Yain, Bolim, Umevukoim, Umetzurorim. Mevukoim means that they are cracked because it's old. And Metzurorim is also soil. That means that they are also a semen of old. Yeah, they tie it together, and there were many knots again and again and again. They knotted it again because every time they go down, they knot it again. Metzurorim, many knots. That means basically what they come to show is that we are coming from a very distance, we're coming from somewhere far. Pasuk hey. Okay. Uneolois, bolois, umetulois. Uneolois. So he's saying uneolois, bolois, umetulois, beragleim. Solomois, bolois, aleim. V'chol lechem tzeidah yovesh hoyo nikudim. What's the pshat? Pshat is saying uneolois means shoes. Right, Ne'oli we find also sometimes Ne'olois, what we have over there, Ne'oli, we have also sometimes Ne'olois, it means shoes. Metulois, that means they have lots of patches on them. Semolois. What's semolois? That means it's the begotten that they wore. Yeah. Salmo. Oh. Simlo and Salmo is, we can say also Beyochin and also in Rabim, right? And we have many. Kesev and Kevesh. Kesev and Kevesh. We are Kivras. So the Lechem Tzeder, what they take to show that they took Tzeder Lader, as we said before, and they were Nikudim. Nikudim, they are full of holes, and Nikudim, some say it was moldy. Moldy, as the Ralbag says, that there was a moldy, and to prove that they came from a distance. וילכו אל יהושע אל המחנה הגילגול ויאמרו אלו ואל איש ישראל מארץ החויקו בנו ועתו קילטו לנו בריס. We came from a far distance, so we want now to have a bris. That means who's the Ish Yisrael? Ish Yisrael is always called the Nisi or Eda, and they always called Ish Yisrael. Why? Because they are Gdoile Yisrael, and that's called Ish, as we Loshen Gdula, or Loshen Chashivas, as we find many times, and that was, right, Ishi Kohen Gadol, where we find in Yumet, they call it Ishi Kohen Gadol. That's what they called over there, Kilton on Bris. That means the Loshen Krisas Bris is from the, right, Krise or Psire or Balichaim, the Bris go Bein Gzorim, as we find in the Bris Ben Absorim, Kilton Bris, it didn't say Itonu. Just what? Lonu is talking about between, Krishas Bris, between the strong to the weak. Right? That's what he's saying. Like, Anshe Yevish Gilo tell the Nochosh Amoini, Kros Lonu Bris, Ben Avdecho. That means when you have someone stronger and a weaker, so it's Kirso Lonu Bris. But there, if it's both of them in the same, they come to negotiate in the same powerful way, so then it's Itonu Bris, Imonu Bris. It's not Lonu Bris. It's a little bit different. Over there was the Lashon Imanu. Imanu. It is Imanu. Yeah, again. Yeah. The interesting is that if you look later on, let's see in the Psukim later on, because the Psukim later on, the Pasuk test especially, it says they came from a derech hoiko meoid. Now, what they say over here, Vayelchu Yeshua zamachna gilgal ve'emru elo ve'lish Yisrael me'eretz hoiko banu. Vayoymer, the Ksiv is Vayoymer, the Kri is Vayoymer. Vayoymer, let's think, Vayoymer, ish Yisrael el achivi. Ulai bekirbi ato Yoshev, ech los lecho bris. How can I do for your bris? That means the ish Yisrael, the Kri is Vayoymer. Why? Because only one person spoke, and that's the Kri, yeah? Beshem Ish Yisrael, and we said before, the Ish Yisrael is the Gdoile Yisrael, the Nisiya Yisrael, and that's why Vayoymer, one of them said, the Chivi is the Yoshvi Givoy, that they were from the Chivi, as we said before. And Bekirbi, maybe you are sitting over here, Bekirbi means Bekirvasi, that means he's sitting over here in the land. So how can I do for your bris to be over on the mitzvah Hashem, right? The state of the Sikro Islohem Olelehem Bris. How could I be over on the Isur of the Sikro Islohem Bris? Vayoymu El Yehoshua Avodecho Anachnu. Vayomer El Yehoshua Mi Atem U'Me'ayin Tovoyu. So what did he tell them? Vayomer El Yehoshua, because now they're talking to Yehoshua. They're not talking to Ish Yisrael. They tell them Avodecho Anachnu. And this means that we are weaker from you. And when we come, right, there's Avodecho, right, Binchoni, right, as we find over the Ochos tells the Tiglas Pileser. So Yeshua tells them, Mi'atem. Mi'atem means from which nation you're coming, from which land you're coming. And now the answer, Bo, so Bo Avodecho, yeah. לשם השם אלוהיכך, כי שמענו, שמעוי ואסכול אשר עושו במצרים, ואסכול אשר עושו לשני מלכי מוירי, אשר בעבר הירדן, נסיכו מלך חשבון, אלוהיג מלך הבושן, אשר באשדורויס. ויאמרו אלינו סגילנו וכל יושבי ארצנו לאמור, קחו בידכם צידה לדרך ולכו, לקרוסם אמרתם עליהם, עבדכם אנחנו ואתו קירסו לנו בריס. Because what was the answer? On this they didn't have an answer. Oh. So first of all, that's the Omer what they done. They start to speak out, right? No. So first of all, the difference between, I wanted to focus on this and Pasuk Vov and Pasuk Tes, we find a very big difference of Eretz Choiko Me'oid, right? And Pasuk Vov, it doesn't say Me'oid, they didn't, right? They didn't answer him on the first question, it was Mi'atem, only on the second one. Could be there is a connection between it. Because, so there is a few pshatim in this. I saw what's a pshat. Well, the pshat says that be'emes, the chivi, as we saw, where the chivi live, and we spoke about this in the beginning, that the chivi, when we tried to fit where's the lands and each one where's that, where the chivi sat, the far north, right, in the north. Right, as we can see later on, והחיבי תחס החרמון בארץ המצפה, right, that's pasuk, you can see it later on. If you look at the beginning of capital Yud Aleph, הכנעני, pasuk ג' הכנעני ממזרח ומים והאמורי והחיתי והפריזי והיבוסי באור, והחיבי תחס חרמון בארץ המצפה. Also in Shoftim capital Gimel, we find over there that they say over there the Gvul HaTzfoini, right? That means the Chivi is Har HaLevonoin, above Baal Chermoin, Ad Levoi Chamos. They're mamish in the far north they're living. So they coming and saying Meretz HaChoyko Me'oid. Meretz HaChoyko Me'oid. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. We came on for the Chivi. And so Be'emes, they say we are the Chivi. But which Chivi? The Chivi that's sitting over here in Givoin, or the Chivi that's living over there very far. So that's what he's saying. It could be the answer also to the second question. No, the first question. Sorry, the first question. And that's what he's saying. That what? That Kishom Moya Shom Oi, Kishomanu Shom Oi, right? It's called Asherosa B'Mitzrayim, and very similar like the Rochov. Rochov tells the Meraglim. Very similar to Rochov tells the Meraglim. Very similar to Vayishma Isoi Mashmo Shomau Bo. V'skol Asher also l'shnei Malchei Moiri. What Rochov says, V'asher Asisem l'Malchei Moiri. They say, right, l'Shem Hashem. And Cheshboin, right, all of the things that they've done for Cheshboin and Kibush Yerichoi, v'chule. So let's focus on this, what we see over here, on the difference between Pasuk Tes and Pasuk Vav. The Pasuk Vav, it says Meretz Rechoyko Bonu, and Pasuk Tes, we said Meretz Rechoyko Me'oid. Over it says Vayoimu Eilov Vel Ish Yisrael, and Pasuk Vav, and Pasuk Chet it says Vayoimu El Yehoshua. They didn't speak to Kol Yisrael. What happened? So in the Sefer Rina Sitzchok, he wants to say something. In the beginning, when the Givonim came in the beginning, they want a bris, they want a covenant with Klal Yisrael. So what he said, it's a choyko bono. That means that there's no Isor Krisas bris with them, because the Isor Krisas bris, as we said, is Davke on the Shiva almost, not the rest of the nation. They say we came from Eretz HaChoyko, we are not from the Sheva Umis. Right? And this is based on Toshon Yevomes, Daf Chof Gimel. What Toshon says, there's no Isor of Krisas bris, Davke only with Shiva Umis. Why? Because it says Gabi de Givoini, Ulai. It doesn't learn it out from over here. It says Ulai Givoini, right? It says over there. Ulai Bekirbi Ato Yoishev. So what's mashma? Davke B'Shar Umois is mutar. So what do we see from over here? That the reason they didn't want to do a Krisas Bris is because the chashash that they are of the Shiva Umois. So that's Toshon in Yevomes, the same thing we have Toshon Navid the Zohar, Nafchof also says the same thing. That's the reason when the Givonim come in the beginning and they want a priest, they want a covenant with Klal Yisrael. What do they say? Meretz HaChoyko. I mean, we're not from the Shiva army, we are from Meretz HaChoyko. After that, they said, Eich nichos lecho bris, ulai bekirbi ato Yoshev. So then they have to say, no. Pasuk Tes, if we look at Pasuk Tes, Vayim Moelo Meretz HaChoyko mo'oi bo avodecho. L'shem Hashem Eloikecho, l'shem Hashem. And what's the pshat? L'shem Hashem. So this is the Ramban explains. The Ramban al Torah and Pasha Shoftim, the Ramban explains that there's no Isur Krisas Bris because they were mekabel themselves not to be Oved Avodah Zarah. Because the Isur Krisas Bris is only someone who's Oved Avodah Zarah. For someone who's mekabel himself not to be Oved Avodah Zarah, there's no Isur Krisas Bris. So mitzad, that's what it's saying. Two reasons. There's no problem of Krisas Bris. First of all, we are Zainish Choishen. And second of all, we also coming L'Shem Hashem. Now this, all of this is only mitzad the Isor Krisas Bris or Shteit Legabe, right? Shaloi B'Shas Kibush. Stop. That's the pasuk what we learned in, right? The psukim, Peticho is the bris, V'Yachtiyucho. Thinking you're going to learn from them. Maisim don't do any bris with them. But when we talk about B'Shas Milchom, B'Shas Kibush, Shteit over there, right? A mitzvah Kriyas Shalom, Sai Milchemes Mitzvah, Sai Milchemes Rashus. We said there's a Kriyas Shalom, And if they were not mashlim, you kill them. Over here, from this condition of shalom, of asking them to become themselves, avdus, and if not, they're going to kill them. The givonim, even though they become themselves, not to do avodah zarah, but they will not become themselves, mas ve'avdus, as they mevor in the Rambam. And that's why they tell you, Yehoshua rechoiko me'oid. That means that you're not coming on a milchama. We're very far from over here. You're not fighting with us. Just what? You're fighting now only in Eretz Canaan. And we're coming from Eretz Rechoiko me'oid. Mimela, we are not b'shas kibush. We are not b'shas milchama. Mimela, we want to do it with your bris. And even if we don't want to be mekabel ourselves on us, the mass, the avdus, what we have to be mekabel on themselves. Right? And that's the Rambam says. The Rambam says that mitnoya shalom. The Rambam says that the Ramban also that mitnoya shalom sheikablu aleim mas ve'avdus chutz the kabbalah sheva mitzvahs. And they say we don't want to become the mas and the avdus. They say very good because they don't. Now, if he them very good. Why he was mekabel? Yehoshua was mekabel them and he told them the bris, even though. That in the beginning they tied it, right? They suspect maybe because in the beginning they tied it. Okay, you're not from the Zionomos, you're not from the Zionomos, and that's why you could do a bris. And on this, Klal Yisrael said no, ulay bekirbi. So misafek, you're not allowed to do a krishas bris for them. After they say that they came to Shem Hashem, so anyway, you're mekabel on themselves not to do avodah zarah. There's no issue of krishas bris. Even the then mashlim, right? They tie and they're not from the Sheva Umoy, so they're not coming over milchama. There's no chiyuv to be machlim them. And even if you don't do another bris, there's no thing. But misafek, if the killers are not the killers, that's not going to be over you're not over any issue. Even if you're not going to do it, that's a reason. That's why Yehoshua was mekabel them. As we see, and then he was mekabel them. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna stop over here, Hashem, and next week we're gonna continue Pasuk Yud. We're gonna go over a little bit the last Pasukim.